Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and well, here we have a very lovely lock. Now, this is a Ruko, 6-pin Ruko, and Scandinavian oval, and this is sent to me by the amazing member of the community, Oceanaut. And Ruko are a Danish make, and these are becoming more and more rare, the actual Ruko variants, as opposed to the Assa Abloy Ruko ones, which are more modern, and then which have all changed to just Assa Abloy now. So you can see that's a 1200 series Ruko Assa Abloy here. So this is an older version of one of those, and isn't it? Oh, I just love these Rukos. There's no such thing as an easy Ruko. Well, okay, that's not technically true. It's all bitting dependent, but they are made so well with such beautiful tolerances. And what's even better is that the pins change over the years, and because I'm no expert in these, picking them is always a bit of a joy, because like if you do pick one, then it's all about, well, what's actually inside it. What's it's like, what did I pick? What did I pick? There's usually like it's like Assa spools, and there's gin bottle spools, and there's just multi-spool pins and all sorts of variants. Ones with just tapers on the drive pins and key pins. There's all sorts of little variants with these. So I just love picking them. Now, like I said, there's no such thing as an easy Ruko. The best way to pick these is with incredible patience and light tension. Anyway, enough moaning. Let's try and set something up and get picking. Right, let me go grab a vise. So we are all viced up, and here is that key. Very nice, actually, I think. You know, it's got some height at the front, then a very low cut pin number 2, which is protecting pins 3 and to a lesser extent 4 at the back, and then you've got some really high cuts. So whatever you've got inside this, whether it's spools or tapered pins or tapered spools or multi-spools or gin bottle pins or undercut cores, whatever else Ruko are throwing at us in this, you're going to have to work hard, because you're going to have to push these pins quite high. Okay, so tension. I'm going to go, I think, bottom of the keyway on this one, using this multi-pick 1.2mm tension tool, and a nice, this happens to be a brand new Sparrow's Lunatic, because why not? I love the Lunatic profile. And let's have a go. So we'll click on 5. And the idea is you get the tension so just right, so that you can just feel the pins bind and then click. There you go, so that's 4. Little click on 3, little click on 2. Nothing on 1, okay, back to the back. That's 6. 5's dropped me into a false set. And that's 4, little click as you heard. Tiny movement on 2, which is very positive. Okay, back to the back then. 6 feels set, 5 feels set, 4 doesn't. Try and just get 1. I think 1's fine. Oh no, it wasn't. In fact, that was holding us back. Ooh, that's surprisingly quick. Do you know what? If I hadn't have tested pin 1 just then, because it felt like it was set, and I just lined that tension up to almost nothing, and it opened up. I'm really curious what's inside this. Definitely spooling of some kind, definitely. And it's by far not an easy lock to pick at all. It's a tough one, this one. And just to be clear, by the way, you rarely see the first pick on camera. I've usually practiced this lock before I even start filming all about this lock. You know, I like to make sure I can pick a lock before I put it on camera. It's not very entertaining for you if I spend ages and ages and ages and ages failing on a lock over and over again, which happens quite a lot. That's why you end up with locks in your naughty bucket. But yeah, that was quick. That was so much faster than in practice, and I did pick it first time in practice, but it took probably about 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes that first time. Not however long that took. What? Just it's under 2 minutes, I think. Yeah. So just goes to show, even picking it once before has a remarkable difference. But yeah, there we go. So pop this on. There we go. And where's that key? So what I like about this is whatever you've got inside these pins, because you're pushing them up so high from its resting position, which is quite a lot lower, the key pins, because you're pushing the drive pins up that full height, you know, whatever's happening inside these, the spools or the serrations or the whatever it is, you know, you're getting the full effect of them, which is really, really nice, you know, if you're into picking, that is. Shim, shim, shim. Let's grab one of those and just put that. So rotate that core that way, put a shim in the top for no other reason than I can, and if you can, you should. I can then push this whole core out in one fell swoop like that. And then we can have a look at what's inside. So looks like here we have an anti-drill like piece of steel here, and at the side, and at this side, and here as well. So yep, these are all steel key pins, I think. Yep, all steel key pins. And I took two at once there. Where's my tweezers? Not really sure which way around it is, so I'm going to guess that way for now, and then we'll look at it later, or when I put it back together. They're all the same kind of style anyway, so let me just show you one of these up close. There you go, just a nice, good quality steel pin. They feel different to brass, or at least I feel that they do. Yeah, they just feel slippier, I'd say, on the tips. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just one of those things I think. But here is the core, and let me get a light in a little bit more on top of that. And I think we can see, yeah, we do. We've got wonderful undercutting there. Can you see? Let me get that pick. Where's my pick? There's actually a groove undercut here. Look at that. And really nicely done. See? Tip of my pick disappears into it. That's all the way around. So whichever way you pick it. So that makes me think that I'm going to call it. I think this is the one with the spools, steel spools with a very, very thin edge to them, a lip to them. I could be wrong. I don't want to be wrong, but I could be assembling. So only time will tell. Let's have a peek inside. I'm really interested to know. Oh, these are gin bottles, not the ones I was thinking. I think they are all the way. Yes. Oh, this is the best one to get, I think. It's just because they're such an unusual pin shape, and I absolutely love them. I was hoping it'd be this and not the thin lip spools, which are also awesome, don't get me wrong, but these are the ones that you want. If you're going to get a Ruko, this is one you dream of getting, trust me, because they are just the best. And there's a whole load of steel springs in there. I won't bother getting them out, just make life a lot harder for me when I want to put it back together. But these are just the best, honestly. Look at that. They're called gin bottles because, of course, they look like a bottle of gin that way up. And they are a version of a thin-lipped spool, but trust me, I was wrong when I said these are the ones, because I actually the Asa do one which is like a multi-spool, and then it spools up here as well. So this one feels like a standard pin, drops into a very deep spool, and this is designed, of course, to catch in these undercuts here. So see that cut? So these are designed to like catch underneath it, and it locks in really well. If you don't put light tension on, you will not pick this, or at least if you do, you're going to be very lucky. This is the light tension lock. The way that they sort of the core interlocks with these gin bottle spools is just superb. Anyway, I love this lock so much. It's one of my absolute favourite versions of Ruko, so I'm so pleased it's that version. Anyway, look, if you enjoy this video, please leave a like. If you have any comments, I try to read and reply to as many as I can, so please drop one below. If you like this content and want to see more content like it, then of course consider subscribing, and I'll see you all next time.